Welcome to a platform where we debate on the top stories of the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and other leagues with the best in the world of sports. You'll also get interviews with many athletes and media talents at several basketball events, including the WNBA and college basketball. My name is Rafiq Ulwazon, and this is Nothing But That Sports Talk. Welcome to another edition of When Sports Be Entertainment episode, Nothing But That Sports Talk. I'm Rafiq Ulwazon alongside a very special guest of mine, and obviously me and you bumped heads before back in the 2000 or late 2010s when you was hosting music festivals. King Silva, as everybody calls her. Welcome aboard.
Hey, how's it going? Happy to be here.
Yeah, everything's going good. I mean, it's a long time coming, but I'm glad you were able to join me on the show. And for those of you in New York City knows, she's hosted many different events across New York City, from music festivals, day summer festivals, and most recently you were involved in an event that featured Kash Doll. So yeah, I just had to break that down because you're involved with a lot of things in the music entertainment industry.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been doing it for a little minute now. I'm very grateful for my journey and the things that I've gotten to do. I feel very, blessed. I still feel like, there's a lot left to learn, a lot left to do. So I could just be grateful.
Yeah, why don't you tell everybody about how you started getting involved in the music entertainment industry?
So realistically, I had went to school for physical therapy, but that kind of was like it just was too physical on the therapy part. And when once you really wrap your mind around the concept of having to like the way you have to interact with people on a constant and day-to-day basis, and you have to like touch people, and it just kind of was just like I didn't see myself doing that for the long run. I didn't really feel like that was me. So I, had to shift gears and think about what are some things that I did naturally. And talking was one of them, entertaining and putting together events were, a couple things that I felt like I did naturally. So I got into an internship in Harlem. Um, and from there, that's when I got introduced to like in a different scale, putting events together for artists. As opposed to like in college, I was doing like open mics, I was doing fashion shows. I had first started hosting. In high school, I hosted a pep rally. When I got to college, I hosted some fashion shows, some really big fashion shows at St. Francis College, thanks to, some of my good friends and sisters. Um, so, so once I got into the space where I was doing an internship and I was working with artists, it was just, kind of like honing in on that, like booking artists for different shows around Harlem. Um, and then from there, after the internship, I also did like film and production stuff. So that was like my introduction to production. And then I started my event series called Heart Soul, the art exhibition, in 2017 in Harlem. Uh, just as a homage to those beginnings, and also homage to a lot of events that I would attend regularly and I was like deeply in love with. Shout out to Mojo Disco and Paint and Poetry, and a lot of the other events that were going on. So I wanted to create an event, and I waited till Paint and Poetry was like finished, and I was just like, well, I still want that same type of space to celebrate art and stuff like that. But I want to do it my way. I want to incorporate all the things that I learn, all the things that I do, and all the people that, I'm inspired by. So I did have Mojo Disco come and do some body paint work at one of the earlier ones. And just a lot of my visual artist friends now had a space for themselves to present themselves and to sell pieces. I also feel like art is currency. So being able to provide a space to reintroduce that aspect, like, people have very expensive pieces that are passed down from generation to generation, or, there are art dealers, art sellers, like art is a form of commerce. So those are just like a few things of my like beginnings. And then from there I was introduced to bigger stages. I started my residency at SOBs and working with that booking agency. From my work that I was doing in Harlem, they had a position open. They were looking for booking agents. So I started hosting with them and then later on got into the booking and then became event director and stuff like that. Simultaneously, I, got into media because I ended up going back to school for new media technology and getting that degree. So simultaneously, I'm like throwing myself into like media and stuff like that. So I started doing radio, internet radio, underground radio, and podcasting. So a lot of these things were happening like at the same time, but they all complemented each other. You know what I mean? So it didn't the one thing didn't take away from another. They kind of started becoming like my identity, as that media girl, as that entertainer, as that host. And then from there, like, people just loved me. A lot of opportunities I got is it wasn't because of a resume. Like, I don't think I've ever gotten a job or a gig or an opportunity or whatever by actually using my resume. I really have gotten it because people like me, they like what they see, they've seen my work, I was recommended. So that's honestly like how I was able to do a lot of the amazing things I was able to do. And also when I'm a part of a situation, I feel like I add value, and I feel like that's something that I'm very like passionate about is seeing seeing what people want to do or hearing what people want to do and taking that to the next level. That's just like something that's innate in me. You know what I mean? So that's like for the most part, like my beginnings, like my
Wow.
origin story.
Yeah, that was literally an origin story. I mean, you pretty much started around like a year before I met you at a little, yeah, that Grammy Awards viewing party that happened at the Irish pub. That was when I first met you, and I was like, yeah, you're involved with Day Summit. You worked your tail off to get as far as you have. After watching you host shows at SOBs. It stands for Sound of Brazil. For those of you that don't know, it's all the way Houston Street in Manhattan. But yeah, when you're hosting these events at SOBs, like, what kind of entertaining vibe you gain from it after watching people come out to watch you host and the artists perform?
So I think I started that like I think it was like July 2016. Was my first SOB stage. Uh, and before that, I was I forgot what the spot was called, but it was a spot in Brooklyn in Crown Heights. Um, I've been to SOBs before, so I think it was kind of just like a full circle moment. Like I kind of like I'm one of those people that I feel like I'm like a little bit psychic. I feel like I kind of, well, not psychic, but I have a very good manifestation game when I want to. You know what I mean? Like once your mind is clear and you're like in that zone. Um, so I kind of always seen myself on that stage. It was just about when and being prepared for it, right? So like I said, I've been hosting since high school, like pep rallies. Like I did the first ever pep rallies at my high school. And so I was already used to like big crowds. And if you know anything about high school, like they're unapologetic. So I think that with me having that, and then a lot of people that I know, uh we're all around like the same age and like in the same networks from being in college. That's one good thing about college, the networking. So once I got to SOBs, uh it just was like I'm supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to say like how it felt per se, but I just kind of felt like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be like this is regular, like you know what I mean? Um, I love making people feel good about themselves. So the entertaining part, again, like once I'm on the mic, like I'm on. So, making people laugh is something I naturally do. Making people feel good is something that I intentionally do. So once, especially like, because energy is transferable. So once I see people are enjoying themselves, now I'm enjoying myself more. So I'm making you enjoy yourself more, and then it's just like a ripple effect. Like everybody is just feeding off of each other. I'm super big on crowd participation because I feel like as much as it's my audience, they're also my co-hosts. So I'm letting people come on stage and you know showcase whatever talent it is that we can get in those few little seconds, whether it's dancing or singing or whatever the case may be. Like even though there's a whole show going on, I'm the show within the show. A lot of the times I was the reason why people would come to shows like after a while. And that to me, I think was like the biggest compliment. If I'm not somewhere, people are asking me like, why aren't you hosting this? Or why aren't you here? Or why aren't you there? And I was just like, oh my God, you love me. I think that is so dope. So I mean, I loved it. I really love that. Till this day, when I'm on stage hosting, that's probably like my favorite thing to do. Moving a crowd, controlling the vibes in the room. Like that is like my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, you control the vibes big time, and this go for somebody that watched you host shows at SOBs and made different clubs in New York City. I know, trust me. I've interned for you guys. I know what I'm talking about. So me being an intern, interviewing you and many different artists that perform on that stage, interviewing artists that even hip not only hip hop Mike from Hot 97 knew about.
Yeah, yeah, we love him.
Yeah. But now we get to the next part. What are some of your favorite artists that you interviewed or worked with during your hosting career?
Some of my favorite artists that I interviewed. Um, so again, like sometimes, all right, so what people say when I interview them is that I make them feel like they're talking to their friend. So I would say the interviews that felt like I'm like really like just talking to my homie or my homegirl. Um, Dream Doll, I always have a good time interviewing Dream Doll. Dream Doll was actually um one of my first on camera interviews outside of like podcasting and radio or whatever the case may be. Um, that she was my first, and then I've had other firsts with her. So she was my first on camera interview, and then when I did the BET Awards, the BET Hip Hop Awards, she was like, I interviewed her again on that carpet. So that was like my first time doing the BET Awards carpet, and I interviewed her again there, and it's so funny because we had just came from the club, so. So she says on camera, she was like, "Yeah, you was in the spot last night, she act doing your thing," and I just felt like that was like so cool. Like I've been to her music videos. I've seen her outside. I've seen her at like like festivals or like different things around the city, and she'll always show love. So I really love Dream. She's a really sweet girl, really beautiful, like inside and out. Like she's really, really cool. So Dream Doll is definitely one of them. Um, Dusty Locane, funny enough. Dusty Locane is one of my favorite interviews just because like we were cracking up the whole time. Like he just kept laughing at everything I said. So him laughing at me was making me laugh at him. And then like he's one of those people that you could talk candidly with. So I had said something like he was like, "Oh, I know a lot of people didn't believe me, or believe in me in the beginning because of the references to like Pop Smoke and stuff like that." And I told him I was like, "Yeah, I was one of those people. Like I did not believe you. I thought this was a whole fluke or whatever the case may be. I thought they was trying to, I didn't know what they was trying to do, whatever." And then he was just like laughing, like, "Yo, I mess with you because you're honest. Like I'm like, yeah, like I can't. I'm gonna say it to your face, like." I thought that was cool, and then we just laughing because I said he sounded like Batman. Like it was funny. Um, Other than that, I'll give you like three or four or five if I could think. Um, and this is no particular order. Another person that I enjoyed interviewing was Coco Jones.
Mm.
Coco Jones was another really dope interview. Where it definitely gave that homegirl vibe. And I have a clip that did a lot of numbers where and it's crazy because some of these things, some of these moments that I've posted on social media, and this was like before like everything was a viral, everybody's doing a million. Like some of these moments, and these are all organic moments, all organic numbers. Um, they happened right before the interview. So kudos to whoever caught, some of these moments, like, whether it's these interviews or just in general. Like, shout out to the cameraman who knows, like, just start recording. Just start recording because you don't know what you could catch. Because when it's like the official interview is kind of like, oh, like we're like, okay, now start, and then we're asking questions. But some of those conversations that happen right before are like tea. Like they're like either really funny, really organic, really natural. Like, so shout out to all of the photographers and videographers that know to just start recording as soon as we get in that mode. But so Coco Jones was a really good one. I had asked her because I seen her, like I'm like, damn, I didn't realize that she was that tall. So as soon as we sat down, I was like, I just want to tell y'all something. And I didn't even really like say it, but because but I was just like, I just want to let y'all know, like, she yeah, it's over. Like, if you short, like, I ain't gonna lie, it's over for you. She was like, no, don't say that. And I was just like, why? And she was like, they might be short, but they might have like tall energy. And I was like, tall energy at BDE. So it kind of was just like, damn, the camera's not even there. This is my homegirl. We talking, we're laughing, and we're just having a good time. Um, so Dream Doll, Destino King, Coco Jones. Who else is a good person that I interviewed? Um, Lil Mo. Lil Mo is one of the most unfiltered people that I think that I've interviewed, and I enjoyed that so much. Lil Mo, uncandid and so funny and so real and such a good singer and such a good person. Like, I really, really enjoyed talking to her. And I don't know, I feel like I had some like really meaningful interviews. I'm trying to think of like one of them. Um like I've talked about like mental health with some people. I've talked about like and some of these interviews like aren't up or like something happened to it. Like I remember I had a conversation with Nivea about her salt situation and how she ended up having a stroke and stuff like that because everyone was like talking about her face, but I was like the first person to ask her that, and that interview didn't go up. And then Candy ended up having that conversation with her. Shout out to Candy. But I was like, damn, like, that was a good one. Um, or like, damn, who else is another one? Well, I'll say honorable mention, Fetty Wap, of course.
Mm.
Fetty Wap and Bobby Shmurda. Fetty Wap, Bobby Shmurda, Ja Rule, and Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown was my first carpet that I did um for my own company. I did his biopic. Um, so I got to interview a lot of really dope people that day. And that's another one of my clips that like kind of like went off, where we talked about his mental health and his journey. And I thought that was it, his journey with therapy. So I thought that was really dope. And then with Ja Rule was on the same carpet. Um, and we talked about his influence on hip hop. And I feel like sometimes, like people make fun of the whole him and 50 Cent thing and stuff like that, but he did have a really big impact on music, you know what I'm saying, in terms of his relationship, his musical relationship on the songs with Ashanti or any vocalist, and how he kind of like incorporated the rap and the singing. He did say like Curtis Blow was the first to do it, but the way that he did it, he was kind of like an innovator of sorts. So, I've had a lot of really good interviews, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, you had a lot of based on everything you're telling me right now. You've had a lot of interviews with some well-known artists that more well-known artists that even the public knew about. I mean, everybody knew about Ja Rule when he was doing his thing, especially with the New York versus New York track. That's literally been one of the top anthems in New York City for hip hop, sports, and entertainment throughout the years after 2004. And then you mentioned you interviewed Bobby Brown. I mean, obviously, if you watch the biopic of his own biopic and the biopic of New Edition, then you probably get a sense of what he went through throughout his life, that impacted his music career to the point where he had to do everything by himself and after getting kicked out of New Edition because he just couldn't control his mental behavior when
Hmm.
he tried to talk bad about him. And like, have you ever had conversations with him when he talked about like being able to manage the mental health that he had?
Yeah, so he ended up bringing up therapy, and that's like his way of managing things, and it's been a long journey for him and stuff like that. And then I brought up my own experience because I've been to therapy, and I do feel like it's helpful. Uh, and it's something that a lot of people in our community needs to talk about. So, he didn't go into like full like on detail, but I would say if you can watch it, it should be up. It should be up. But all in all, he did say like it has been a journey with his different vices and things like that, but all in all, like therapy and his family, like his wife and his kids, they were a big push for him, to want to stay on the right track.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But to continue the conversation, when you interviewing people talking about stories like that, like how do you educate yourself as far as knowing that these artists have serious lives outside the hip hop industry that impact their careers?
Research, research. That's the biggest thing I could tell people. Like, especially with the way the internet is set up now. Like, now there is a point where people feel like they know you better than you know yourself, and depending on who it is, you might. But overall, I would say like doing research, like whether it's listening to past interviews so you know what to delve deeper into, what to avoid, you know what I'm saying? Like triggers. Um, Talking to that person's publicist. And this is for people who need like talking points. I don't really do talking points. I actually really don't like when people give me talking points. You know what I mean? Like there's certain situations where whether it's like political or whatever, where they'll give you talking points, or if the person has like an ongoing criminal case, where they'll prioritize talking points. I don't even know if they still do that now because I don't know. But yeah, so sometimes you can ask the publicist for talking points, like or a press release. So the press release is more common. Press release is definitely something that's still being done, and it's basically a media alert. It's a blast letting you know that that person has music out, that person has a book out, that person has this, and it'll give you details about the work, and it'll give you a short bio, about the subject. The subject being the person or brand or whatever. Um, and usually sometimes if it's a writing piece, they do or should include photos or links for you to reference. So sometimes everything you need is in the press release. But if you're doing the work yourself, which you should, as even if it's just so you know how to do it, um, yeah, definitely read, depending on who your subject is. And when I say subject, again, I'm referring to the person, brand, or organization that you're interviewing. You can do research different ways. You can use Google. Google's like the biggest thing. If you're more of um, a traditional person, you can read, read whether it's like magazines, if it's like a fashion or, depending on who it is, maybe a Time magazine or a New York Post or New York Journal or whatever. You could um reads a physical copy of something, or you could Google it. You can Google YouTube videos, you can go on their website or social medias and gather some clips, because a lot of the times these people are making announcements to their fans directly. um so you could grab some clips from that. And then depending on what your relationship is, again, with the publicist or the subject, sometimes you can ask the people around them. I know a lot of people get like the Speedy Mormons or saying, what's that guy with the glasses? I forgot his name. I think it starts with a W. But who does like unconventional kind of interviews where they'll say like a random fact that they found out about you. Like sometimes those people ask like the people around the subject, or they'll like look into like your elementary school, high school history, like you know what I mean? Like there's just a level of research that comes with being in the media, because the media is the message. So you want to know what the message is, you got to look for it.
Exactly. I mean, to pick up the part where you talk about doing research. I mean, when you research somebody, whether it's somebody you've known for a while or somebody you interviewed for the first time, that helps you build a stronger interview. Especially like I've done my research and known very well to prepare myself to interview you people like you, because I feel like like sometimes there's more to you than what I'm seeing in person when I run into with these shows and all the videos you do with the people I know right now, because doing the research helps build a better interview.
Yeah, for sure. 1000%. Unless you really feel like there's some people who are fans of, so it's like it's kind of like a trivia, you know what I mean, where you might not necessarily have to do like traditional research. Say if you're like a sports fan and but you follow sports, so it's like you kind of already know. Those usually are the best interviews for me. When I already know someone and I'm like, oh my God, I love this person. Like somebody like like a Mario or like a Bow Wow or like you know what I mean, like somebody that I grew up on. It's like, yeah, I know what you were doing at age 11. I was there. Like I feel like I was there. You know what I mean? Um, so there is that, like using your personal experience and um uh kind of like advancing it with the research, but using your personal experience sometimes is like really cool too, because then it's like relatable. And some people like uh feeling like, oh yeah, like I've been this lit for this long, like, and you remember my origin, so thank you so much. And some people don't like feeling, old, but I don't know too many people that don't like feeling like um you're paying homage to them and you're being like, oh my God, like I've loved you for so long and thank you so much for existing and stuff like that. Like a Janet Jackson or like a Patti LaBelle. Like if you give them their flowers and you bring up stuff that they like, that you see that they like, I don't think that'll be a negative strike against you for sure.
Yeah, it's never a negative strike. And you know what? There are some interviews and events I've seen you done recently, or at least I was told from a certain partner of mine, a certain friend of mine. But okay, before I get to that, when you look back at the first interviews, what is some constructive criticism and acknowledgement of mistake acknowledgement that you've had to build towards what you're doing right now?
Um, I think that for one, a lot of people don't know that like I had like really bad anxiety. Like, oh my God, like I really did. So when I said before, like once I'm on the mic, like everything doesn't matter. That's because like and it's not it doesn't really have anything to do with like public speaking per se. Like it's kind of like weird. Like it's just like um I don't even I can't even explain it, but sometimes you just get like really anxious. Maybe it's more so about like how I'm gonna do, you know what I mean? Like, or if I'm gonna say anything crazy that I'll like I can't take back or something like that. But I used to have really really bad anxiety, and I had interviews where I did have word vomit, and then I look back and I'm like, oh my God, why did I say that? Why did I do that? What is wrong with me? Blah blah blah. So for me, um, I think that being more of myself as opposed to me feeling like, oh my God, okay, I have to like get into this mode and perform. It's like, no, like people like me, I'm why I'm here. And let me just be myself. So that's the difference between like, and I've said this a couple times, but that'll be the difference between me interviewing like a Mario and a Pleasure P, where they kind of like threw me off a little bit in terms of their energy, and it's just like, oh my God, like I didn't expect their energy to be like this, and it kind of like caught me off guard. Like I wouldn't say that they were um like flirting per se, but they do have a very they have a very intense aura. You know what I mean? And I feel like especially with Mario, like Mario was like saying certain things. I'm like, damn, he is he about to throw me off? But he threw me off, child. Like, and it's so funny. Like I laugh at it now, but at the time I was like, oh my God, like what just happened? So that's the difference between those interviews and like my interview with Fetty Wap, where he said something and it's like it could have threw me off, but I was just like, no, I'm gonna like, what would I say if this was a random person? Like, what would my comeback be? Like, when they have something to say, like, I have a comeback, and like, I'm the type of person where I'm more of a personality. Like, I'm not a news anchor. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everybody has their strengths, and I feel like my strength is my personality, my strength is my humor. So let me use that more as opposed to trying to be like stiff and like that didn't happen, let me ignore it, blah, 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 blah. And that made for a lot of good moments. So with Fetty Wap, this was another one where the camera was rolling before the interview started, and he was just like, oh, I like your hair and da 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 da. And I was like, oh,
Ah, man.
you know what I'm talking about. And I was like, oh, you like my hair?
You
Okay.
just showing the personalities, and you better to show the personality that the personality. Then remind everybody that not every interview is going to be perfect. You just
Right.
make sure that
Some
you.
interviews are just going to be fun. And it's like, we still got all of the information. We still did a really, really good interview. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, that's my gift. That's what I do. That's what I bring to the table. I bring the humor. So I was able to flip it on him and create like a really funny moment that you could check out on my Instagram.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You know what? I'm seeing your interview with Freddie Wap. You had on the microphone that says MX, and you had the little Power 105 in the background. Yeah,
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, good stuff with that one. And I see you've been to a lot of stuff. You've been involved with Gorilla.
Glorilla.
You've been involved with the growing up actor named Yura Shit
Grownish. Uh-huh. Yara
Ultracon
Shahidi.
on Charlemagne the God. Man, you literally everywhere since the Day Summit days. Sorry about that.
Mm, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I the whole thing is to continue to progress and continue to try new things and be in different spaces and stuff like that. So, again, like I'm grateful that people still reach out to me and I still have the opportunities to be in certain rooms and create certain moments. I'm actually like I'm not like super in the middle of a rebrand, but I did start a rebrand and I'm working on building, some more uh spaces and some more platforms for me to voice my style of media and just the things that I want to talk about. So shout out to Ungossip. I don't know if that's backward or not, but that
Yeah, Ungossip, estimating 2024. You literally started this business this year.
yes. So this is my blog. Um it's so I dropped my website, a silverliningproductions.com. I
Mhm.
used to have a silverlining.com, but somebody bought it, which is crazy, but whatever. So it's a Silva Silva lining productions.com,
LLC this.
productions with an S. And then if you click on Ungossip, those are recent blogs. I did create an Instagram for the page. I'm going to start posting to YouTube again. I did shoot some new content that I'm going to drop. Shout out to uh, Visuals by DK, who who's shooting my stuff now. So just working on new things now and making sure that I'm doing what I want to do and creating my own lane, which I always do. So
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much, I mean, what you
just getting back to that.
with
Hmm.
right now, entertainment and creating your own lane is pretty much like part of my inspiration towards creating my own lane. Because if you remember, I started this podcast. I was nothing but that b-ball talk, and I like rebranded and renamed it nothing but that sports talk. And ever since then, I've covered college basketball, I've covered the WNBA, I've covered high school basketball a little bit, just to like expand on the sports conversation from not just inside the room somewhere to in the field, talking
Right.
with the athletes, the coaches, and more importantly, the fans.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. If you haven't been following what I'm doing on nothing but that sports talk, and I post everything on the Rafik_New BK because I feel like people need to get a sense of the type of engagement I'm doing with my personal page and my business page. But yeah, more to the point, I see you get involved with some stuff for Kash Doll. Shantae told me about that little event that you went to, that Kash Doll was doing like a little interview studio session. Will you tell me a little bit about that experience?
You said who?
Kash Doll, the artist.
Kush Keystall.
Yeah,
Kush Keystall.
yeah, yeah, Kash Doll. Excuse me,
Oh, Kash Doll. Okay,
tongue twist. My bad.
yeah. Okay. So yeah. So shout out to Cree at Audio Mac. She put together listening for Cash Doll. So she invited a lot of uh media and some fans out to the Audio Mac studios in New York City to preview her listening party. So we had the pleasure of, listening to it firsthand, and it is a phenomenal piece of work. And I don't say that often. I like Cash Doll. I feel like Cash Doll is um somebody that a lot of people like and a rapper that a lot of people acknowledge. But I don't know if she gets acknowledged as much for her music as she does for her looks and now her appearance on BMF. So I feel like this body of work that she put forth is going to help make some noise. You know what I'm saying? Like she has, of course, different songs that we know and love, obviously Ice Me Out, and stuff like that. But she now has power. She has Cash Commandments. She has baby boy dedicated to her son. Like she has so many bangers. Her song with Tink, like she has so many bangers on that project, and the way that it's like put together, it's so intentional. I'm really like so happy that I got to experience that. And she's really cool. Like she's a really fun person. We were able to like do TikTok for her and stuff like that. So yeah, she like cried. Like it was so cute. Like I love her. Like yeah, she seems like a girl's girl. Like she's fun.
Yeah, I've heard some good things from Shantae when she went to the event, and she says it was really a vibe, and she really enjoyed it. And she enjoyed writing the little blog about it for Short Street Entertainment. I'm gonna leave the link in the description for those that want to see Shantae's blog because it's pretty good. Very wordy, but pretty good. But yeah, besides the point. I mean, Nats, what do you think that fans could learn from her as she continues to excel in the music business?
Kash Doll.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing that people learn from her is perseverance, because sometimes you can get like discouraged if you're not some people care about this. Some people care about this, some people don't. About being mentioned when they're referring to like, oh, who you listening to or who are the top female rappers in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like there are some go-to people and there are some people that are having a really good run right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think perseverance, because she has been around for a few years. Like we've known of her for a few years, but she didn't let not being in those conversations specifically, because not to say that she's not in anyone's top five or top 10. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that she 1000% is, because she's a rapper. And for me, what I appreciate about her is she has her own sound. I think that is very hard to have your own sound. And I think that that's what makes people successful, though, when I could like hear a song and know it's you, or hear a song with your feature on it and still know it's you, or hear a song that somebody else is doing and be like, damn, this is a Cash Doll type beat. I feel like once that is that, like you're solidified. So I 1000% feel like she's solidified when it comes to her her being a rapper and an artist, 1000%. But I think that she might deserve a little bit, she might be a little bit underrated when it comes to making songs, because not a lot of people can make songs, and a lot of the songs on her project don't even have features. It's just her talking her ish from 0 0 0 0 to the end of that song. And I think that um her being able to put out a project that she did now is just a testament to her perseverance. So I would say, to any artist that is thinking like, oh, you know, I'm gonna get in this game and I'm just gonna make a bunch of money and I'm gonna be so lit and everybody's gonna love me, you might have to wait.
You have
You
to.
might you might have to wait, and then you might have to wait again. You might have your moment, and you might keep it for maybe a summer, like no shade, but look at Ice Spice right now. Ice Spice is still on people's tongues, still in people's minds, but in terms of music, I don't know if that we would care if she drops another song. And then at the same time, I don't know if she's done enough to live off of the songs that she did drop. You get what I'm saying? But I think that her as a brand and the way that she came in and the way that she elevated herself in the music industry, I think that is something to definitely be studied for sure. And kudos to her and kudos to her team 1000%. But she might have to wait right now. You get what I'm saying? And if she perseveres and she's able to, you know, stay down, get some, you know, get whatever help that she feels like she's open to and that she feels like she needs. Um, she might have to change her sound. She might have to change her look. She might have to come back outside. Look at Money Long. Money Long changed her name. Look at her. Her changed her name. They changed their vibe, and the rebrand is now what's sticking to the point where we don't even, not that we don't acknowledge, but we don't necessarily refer to their past lives, quote unquote, for lack of a better word. So, you know, persevere, understand what this game comes with. A lot of people are shocked and surprised with certain things, but you got to know that unfortunately you're signing up for an industry where some people might feel like the way it is or the way it was is the way that it's always going to be, and that is a dangerous mindset. That is a stagnant mindset or whatever. But some people are really like that. They feel like there is a formula to this thing, whether that's good, bad, whether that's on a personal level, whether that's on a business level, whatever it is. Certain contracts, if you go to certain people, they will always be the same. Certain behaviors, if you go to certain people, they'll always be the same. So just understanding what you're signing up for and preparing yourself for certain outcomes. And that's it. You could say it's unfortunate. You could say it's fortunate. I could be talking about good things. I could be talking about not so good things. But just, again, doing your research and having, whatever faith that you have, and understanding what your mission is. Like, what is your mission? If your mission is just money, then whatever. If your mission is just fame, then whatever. If your mission is to put yourself and your family in a position to where you don't have to worry about anything, like there's so many different things. But as long as you know your intentions, you know your mission, and you know what comes with that, then more power to you.
Exactly. And you mentioned something, and you're saying something about like people that are involved in hip hop having to wait. Everybody's gonna have a waiting point in their hip hop careers. Even when they're not really waiting, they're really waiting to have their shine. Cardi B was a love of hip hop before she was a Grammy Award winner. And you mentioned you interviewed Dream Doll. She was a love of hip hop before she was a Grammy Award winner, or at least a nomination for any awards.
And she was in Bad Girls Club before that.
Bad Girls Club, yeah, Bad Girls Club as well. Fly J Johnson was a basketball player before she was a hip hop artist. So yeah, as long as you've been involved with the hip hop industry, everybody has a waiting point, even when they don't really acknowledge it is a waiting point until they pick up a microphone, go on the computer, and then start making lyrics when listen to the instrumental beats that's created by the producers. So yeah, that's pretty much how it goes in the industry. Whether your motivation is money or fame or just for self music development, that's all it boils down to.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty much it. And I mean, I know I'm kind of like picking up every event you recently go to, but I've seen you went to I Will Graduate, another event that Shantae went to. So yeah, what do you learn from the I Will Graduate events after interviewing many different actors and hip hop artists and hosts when you were there at King's Theater?
So, I actually went to I Will Graduate and contributed to the source for that one. Sorry. I I went to that one, and I went on behalf of the Source magazine. Shout out to them. Very popular magazine. So what I learned is that there are people who care. There are people who care. And I appreciate that that I'm finding more and more platforms and organizations that are created for the development of the youth and scholars, and they have found a way to meet the students where they are. Um, so an event like I Will Graduate, so it's a um it's a program that happens for a duration of time, and then at the end of the program, that's the celebration, the concert that they put on for the kids. And it's like they had Terrence J host it. Terrence J, he used to be on 106 in Park.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have artists like Capella Gray, Jacquees, Layla. Honey Baby, um, Cash Cobain, and many others. I think Jim Jones contributed, Shaq contributed with Reebok. You know what I mean? So a lot of these things are things that, like some of us didn't have the opportunity to do or see at that age. You know what I mean? Like a lot of this we're doing like now, you know what I mean? So I think that it's very important to meet the students where they are because the children are the future, and showing them what they're capable of at that age is life changing. You know what I mean? They might be on a track to doing whatever. Like they might be heavily influenced by their environments. They might be heavily influenced by negative things that they're seeing on social media, whatever. So having that positive reinforcement from mentors, from, their biggest, like their favorite artists, and biggest celebrities, DJ Khaled, Tiana Taylor, and even Coco Jones did virtual um, messages to the students as well. Like seeing stuff like that, seeing people take their time out to acknowledge you and m- make you feel seen and remind you that you matter and your success matters for the greater good. I think that's a beautiful thing. So I was able to talk to city council members, and different community advisors and stuff like that, as well as these artists and actors and actresses. Uh, Naturi was also there. Naturi Naughton was also there. Um, so, and speaking to them, some of them have kids. Some of them have, wish they had these opportunities, and they're all there in support. They're all there donating their time, um and their in their busy schedules to just show up for these kids. And there was hundreds of kids there, and they loved everything about it. And some of them go on to do great things, and I think that is so important. So, and this wasn't my first time doing the Iowa graduate. I did Iowa graduate, I believe, the year prior, if not the year before that, when they had it at Barclays Center, and Flavio was the headliner, and I got to be on stage for that, and that was really dope. That was really really dope. So yeah, like I think stuff like that is important. That also brings me back to my art exhibition, Heart Soul, the art exhibition, where I partnered with um, Verizon and this youth organization called The Door. I had I had board members from the Hip Hop Museum come out, and I had the Bitcoin Center donate their space, and all of these people have things going on that contribute to culture and contribute to community. So the Hip Hop Museum, they built the museum. I think it's almost ready. If not, I think it's going to be done next year, I believe. Uh, and they're having it's a 10-story building. Two of the stories is for the museum. Eight of the stories is for affordable housing, that people could sign up for. The Door, the youth organization, if you're like from age 12, I believe it's age 12 to 24, you can get youth services, everything from food to arts. And I mean, like, they have a recording studio, they have a dance studio, they have visual components, and they also help you get health services. Like, if you need, whatever care, if you need help getting whatever certificates or license, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're there. And they've been around for a while. Uh, they also have emergency housing as well. If I'm not mistaken, they have locations in the Bronx and in Soho. And then Verizon also has affordable programs that they're promoting when it comes to connectivity. Um, and we were able to give out laptops. We were able to give away, you know, goodies and whatever else maybe like um it was a really good event. So I myself participate in many different community things. We have a the agency I work with now, we have a give back food drive coming up. I don't know when this is dropping, but we have a food drive we're doing. It's supposed to be an annual where we're giving away food. We're collecting food and donations for families in need. And they've also, shout out to JB, he's created a program for families in needs where people can click the link on a website and submit themselves or submit a family to get essential items or food or whatever it is that they need. They can sign up and receive that. So that's dope. And I've done a number of community and youth centered events to create just, either whether it's awareness for the program or to directly impact someone. I've done that. I love giving back. I love, like I said, I started with pep rallies. I just did a pep rally not too long ago at a underserved school in Brownsville, and I've done a few events with them. Shout out Wynn University. I've done a few events with them, and I love those kids. They're such a good time. They're so energetic and enthusiastic about like just celebrating themselves. Like kids are kids. So Holly TV came out and they just lost it. It was a good time, but it's just like as long as they remember you're getting this because we want you to do better. You know what I mean? Like we're this is a push. You know what I'm saying? I love rewards. I love giving back. I love rewards because again, that just goes into making people feel good and feel good about themselves and feel like yeah, like what I'm doing matters. You know what I'm saying? Kids should always feel like that. Kids should always feel like they are seen and they have a voice. You know?
Yeah, and yeah, this is something that people forget. Like, it's not so much. I mean, yeah, we educate ourselves in terms of what we're doing with our lives in this industry, but it's all about making sure you give out to the kids, showing them that you care about their education, their developments, and showing them that there are other paths towards reaching success other than the traditional school path that we all had to take when we were kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that once you graduate high school, I'm a believer in college, especially like CUNY, SUNY. If you can, if you can sign up for whatever programs that cover it, then cover it. Just because college helps you align with a lot of your peers that are going to be tastemakers and decision makers in a lot of the things that go on during your generation. So even with my class of people are just the people within like 4 years up or 4 years down. Like a lot of those people are either in the entertainment with me or they're doing things that like maybe they're a lawyer. I need a lawyer. Maybe they are a doctor. I need a you know what I mean? Like it's just about like networking. Networking is a very big thing in almost any and every industry. So I think that if you do go to college, you should graduate high school. Everyone should graduate high school if you can. Like, please graduate high school. Get your GED, just so you know the basics. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want somebody to, if you're an artist, trick you out of your money or trick you out of your spot. In general. So just see if you could finish high school. But for college, I feel like college is really good for um, if you want to hone in on skills, certain skills, and if you understand or want to understand the importance of networking, a lot of those people that you go to college with, you're going to need later on in life, or you're going to see them,
Exactly.
or you should learn how to use them and not like, oh, I'm going to use this guy. It's like, no, like, how can you work together and use each other? Like, look at Tier NYC. a lot of those cats went to school together. You know what I mean? Like some of them might have grown up together, but from what I know of seeing them around, they went to school together. You know what I mean? And a lot of stuff was started like that.
Sorry about that. Yeah, yeah, you have to because it's those type of relationships and networking is going to help you in the long run towards later job opportunities. And there may be some pros and cons towards the relationship, but once the pros outshine the cons, it can actually lead to places. Which leads you to this one question before I let you go. What advice do you have for people that are looking to like break into the industry as a red carpet host or on stage host or any kind of hosting gigs you get?
Yeah. I would say just think about what you feel like your lane is, like what you think is naturally you. There's some people that do press junkets, like they just focus on press junkets, and that's more so TV film. Maybe some lifestyle, but it's more so TV film. So if you see yourself sitting across from, a bunch of actors and actresses and stuff like that, like then do research on that. If you want to do more like talk show stuff, do research on that. If you want to do red carpet, sometimes these things intertwine. Sometimes it's good to have a focus. You know what I'm saying? Like you can try out different things, figure out which one is your lane, and then just have a focus and just be known for that. I think that a lot of people have been prevailing in this day and age when they do have that where they have that focus, where they have the the um the versatility of being able to do all of it, but they have the focus on being known for that one thing. But things I would say that you need to do is just work on your one-on-ones. Sometimes people, well, rapid one-on-ones. So when you sit down and have an interview, it's completely different than being on a carpet because you're on a time limit and you don't get to necessarily prep. You might not get a rundown or it within a timely manner, a rundown of who is going to touch that carpet. Some people might touch the carpet last minute, but you still want to interview them. Some people might, might not talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So understanding that carpet culture is fast. It's fast. And for some black journalists, sometimes it's disappointing because uh they're the artists or actors or whatever, they're being escorted by um publicists or junior publicists or just talent escorts in general, and that person might have come late and they have to be seated, whatever the case may be, if it's a publicist or junior publicist that knows them, that works with them all the time, they might be in a position to where they're like, oh, we don't want to do certain outlets. So you might want to put yourself in a position to kind of be seen, whether it's like your appearance, like making sure you look tip top, and it's like your eye catching, like, oh, like, so once they get that eye contact, you kind of just like, hey, can I ask you a question? Sorry, question, and just being ready to really throw yourself out there. Like it's a complete different environment than you curating an interview where you're scheduling, like, hey, are you available this time? Come to the studio, let's sit down, or even something like this, to where you have a formal agreement, and it's like, I'm gonna come in a certain time. I'm dedicating this time to your platform and to this conversation. Carpets are and press junkets, they are faster, and so you'll get like a card, like, okay, this is such and such, da, 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 da. Like, so if it's a smaller, like if it's not like an award show or whatever, if it's a smaller event, sometimes they'll announce to you who's going to be there. They might not hand it to you, like an award show or whatever, but they'll announce to you who's going to be there. Take it if you don't know who it is, or you might not know what to ask them, but you do want to interview them. Go on your phone really fast and just Google them. Go on their social media, like I was saying before. Do a little bit of research, and ask them relevant questions. Sometimes it's good to have. Sometimes I'll have like five general questions, and then I'll have five questions specific to who I'm going to be speaking to um, for an event or for a carpet or for whatever. Just so, and they have to be relevant. There's things going on right now. There's, whether it's with them directly or just in general, that may do well for you. What type of content do you want? Or is this a funny piece? Is this, again, that goes back to like knowing your style. But yeah, I would say those are like the best tips that I can give you. Again, everything comes down to research, understanding who you want to be, who your audience is, and what type of event it is, knowing the difference between press junket culture, red carpet culture, sit down interviews, like in studio interviews, and even like event interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like a album release party, whatever. Understanding that all of those interviews are not necessarily going to be the same. Some tempos are faster. Um, some moods are different. Like someone's mood on a red carpet may be a little bit more open than uh somebody or vice versa. Someone in an intimate setting where they invited you out to like a album release might be a little bit more open to certain conversations than somebody that's on the run at an award show or vice versa. Sometimes it really, really, really just depends. But just preparing yourself for each opportunity, and if you really want to thrive, maybe just making yourself known for having this lane, like how you do with sports. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be, of course, you might be able to interview like artists and of author or whatever the case may be, but your lane is sports, and that's what you put your focus on. So you know what I mean? Like so you're prospering within the sports realm. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, I get what you're saying because it's pretty much. I mean, everything you're saying about red carpets is pretty much similar to press conferences. Like you only get like
Right.
2 questions to ask the players that sit the same press conference with you, or in the same media scrums. Or even if you do get a one-on-one interview, you're working within the time limit of the PR. They're working within their time limit, so the PR is not going to get an opportunity to call every single person sitting in the room that wants to talk to the players. There's, and that's the challenge part about it. I mean, you got it happens sometimes, but with enough networking and enough production and enough craft development, that could blossom a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say networking too. Like networking is a big thing. I started this networking series called Happy Hour Club, where we're basically networking over food. I'm introducing my network of people to, my audience's network, and just intermingling and trying to build uh that community where we're all helping each other grow and helping each other learn, and bond and stuff like that. So tune in. My happy hour club did partner with the food drive that is happening, but every month we're we're going to the hottest spots around the city, and we're meeting new people and playing games and having deep chats, and figuring out different ways that we can better ourselves and better our community. So if anybody's interested in that, you can follow Happy Hour Club Meets on Instagram, or King Sylvie. That's my page, KingSlvy. A lot of that should be on my page, or my business page, a Silva Lining Productions. As Silva, like how you spell my name, Silva, a Silver Lining. Don't forget the A. It's a Silver Lining, meaning that there's a silver lining in everything, right? So it's a Silver Lining Productions with an S, um, on Instagram or on anywhere. And then it's a silverliningproductions.com, which has it's my new website that I'm dropping, where you're able to see some of the services that I'm offering now or that I'll be offering in the future. And then you can go on to the ungossip section, and find my blog.
Yeah, thank you for advertising that because these type of factors need to be out there in order for people to get a sense of what you're doing for the community and in the music business. And yeah, that wraps this episode. Nothing but that sports talk that wraps this episode. Nothing but that sports talk when sports meet entertainment. Thank you for stopping by, King Silva. Please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Nothing but that sports talk. To get all the latest interviews within the sports industry and the hip hop industry as well. And I'll be dropping more of this in later years and in the near future when I get more people in the industry. Thank you for stopping by, King Silva.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, for King Silva, Rafika was on. We'll see you next time.